both are now living with their partners, grown up, but they still treat us as mum and dad. I would love to be able to get them to reconnect with their families. One isn't too bad, does still have some connection, but the other one, mother has completely disowned because he's not straight.
Which condition? Are they disowned because they're autistic or because they're gay?
I think because they're gay. This one in particular, not so much gay, but he feels he has gender issues and doesn't feel comfortable in his body. And where he is okay with us and his partner, he's not being able to have that conversation with mother, because she has made it clear, if you're not straight, if you're not going to be giving me grandchildren, I don't want to know. And
she gave him away.
Yeah. She let him.
And he would like to reconnect with her, or you want him to reconnect with her?
I'd like to see a reconnection. Yeah.
I wouldn't force it.
No. It just seems to be the thing that should happen at some stage, some reconnection before both grow too old and regress it.
It might take something like a catastrophic illness on her part for her to forgive him for not being what she wanted him to be. Getting real sick changes your opinion a lot. Unfortunately, I don't want to wish her ill, but that is likely to be the only reason ever that she will try to reconnect. I think that probably she also rejected him for not being brilliant, normal, not autistic. Subconsciously, that was like a seed that was planted, and she really didn't like the way this kid was. It takes really special people to raise autistic children. They used to just stick them in asylums and forget about them, but now there's so much awareness, and now there's also awareness for gay children. It's coming. Autism they've been really, really big leaps and bounds because of all these movie stars who have autistic children. Movie stars don't go on TV and say, I have a gay kid. They say, I have an autistic kid, and let's do everything we can. Raise funds for autism. Let's raise funds to teach parents how to handle their kids. I think people should have a license to have babies. And if you aren't tolerant, and you can't learn tolerance, you don't need to be a parent. Kids taken away and give to people who want them. It might be that this kid will never connect with a parent. Don't worry yourself about it. Don't worry your wife about it. Just let it go. I would never try to force it. Hello. Speak slowly.
About being furry and telling your parents, it's not something I've ever had a problem telling my parents, like, hey, I'm a furry, look this. No, my parents knew. It was like, I went to Renaissance fairs when I was a kid, so I already was the old kid in the family. So they had some time to get used to this, but don't go up to like, hey, mom, I need to talk about this. No, just be casual about what you do. It's a hobby. You show that you go to a convention for costumes because you love the costumes, you love the animals, you love the art, you love the dancers, whatever you love. That's where you go for, and show your passion. And if they see your passion and you enjoying that, they'll be happy as what Granma Kage is, because you are happy, they will be happy about it. And really just be normal about it. It's not a disease being a furry. It's not something that's odd. Some people like to go to the bar and drink all day.
Right, how would you like if your kid was an alcoholic at 18?
Exactly.
Kid come home and say, hey mom, there's something I gotta tell you. I'm an alkie. That's a shock. We didn't notice.
Yeah, there are much more worse things that keep
Well, actually, that's more still the question. I had quite a hard time coming out to my parents about my sexuality back then. Bisexual, and actually I did not know this by myself until I was like 30 or something.
Talk a little louder, I can
Okay.
barely hear you.
I had some funny or hard time coming out to my parents about my sexuality, for I'm bisexual and did not know it until I was like
Why
finished
do you
with my
think you
studies.
need to?
Sorry?
Why do you think you need to come out to them?
I came out to them
Okay.
actually, but the funny or strange thing was actually, as I know today, things were halfway simple with my parents because they accepted it and they are fine with it, with the sexual component there. What was a bit funny there was that my mother at some time suspected me of being gay because she noticed that I seemed to be attracted to boys, and actually I did not accept that notion of myself. So I then somehow had a girlfriend and everything, and I thought, okay, yeah, wait, I don't know, not gay, okay. And someday I then found out that I'm bisexual, and that was a bit messing my whole mind up somehow. And I think things that I've already said totally apply about choose the setting wisely when telling your parents about things that might not be totally mainstream. I was out with my parents at a dinner actually when I told them, Mom, that there's something I should have told you some time ago. Well, I'm bisexual. And
I had a very difficult time hearing you. Is there anybody could paraphrase what he just said? Anybody heard what he said?
well, I heard myself. I thought
That's
I would
better.
be already loud enough. I'm sorry if I was too silent. To some things I just
I
said.
think the microphone isn't set for your timbre of your voice.
I could try and speak a bit brighter. That might be better.
Okay,
Is this easier to understand?
yeah, that's a little bit better.
Okay. Well, what I tried to say is that actually my parents suspected me of not being straight while I still did not know this myself, and this was a bit odd, the coming out. And in the end, I thought my parents to be way less tolerant and open-minded than they actually were. So
That's good.
things were totally better after I finally happened to come out. And one thing I still fear a bit about is telling them, hey, Mom, Dad, by the way, I'm not only bisexual, I'm a furry.
And what did she say? So,
About what? About the...
did she say, so I need to know this because?
no, she actually, there was some odd situation at Christmas long ago when she asked me, did you actually ever have a girlfriend? Or is my suspicion right that you're into boys? And then I was really like, no, I just broke up with a girl after some months, but I did not want to tell because I don't know. Because my father always made funny jokes about Chinese girls, and she was Chinese.
Okay.
And yeah, it was. Yeah.
How do your parents feel about you now?
Sorry?
How do your parents feel toward you now?
I think pretty much
Accepted.
nothing has changed,
Oh.
and also they accept it. But I'm
Okay.
still a bit afraid of telling them I'm furry.
You're happy if you're happy?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay, that's all you can ask for.
And I'm sorry for that.
Anybody else who can speak loud?
Yeah, hello. I've never actually had any real issues coming out with anything, since I'm a straight guy, but what you said reminded me of something that I come from a fairly conservative family, but they've been really supportive of me. I love my parents to death, they're great. But they're somewhat narrow-minded when it comes to other nationalities and ethnicities, and other sexualities, and it kind of disgusts me the way they talk, and I just kind of want to slap them and say,
Yes.
please, they're other people as well. What they do is not really your business.
Yes.
You shouldn't judge them, but I love them too much to
Sometimes
drop
it's
the ball
wise
like
just
that.
to tune them out.
Yeah.
Kids can do that easy with parents. They learn this, I think, when they're 9. My parents are talking, I'm not hearing anything. Revert back to that. This goes all the way back to a parent should know what their kid is by the time they're 5, 6, or 7. It's not something that they haven't recognized unless they sent their kid away someplace and don't talk to them. Parents play with their children. The games, most of them. You all had parents who played games with you, right? No? No? I read books, talked about things that were in books. And you pick up on, as adults, you're smarter most of the time than the kids. And you pick up on their attitudes. So if you don't consciously know it in your most foremost brain, you know back there's something different. And you might be, oh, I hope it's not, I hope it's not, I hope it's not. But if a parent has to say, oh, I hope he's not, it means they know. And at some point, they're going to say something. If you don't want to say, oh, I'm gay, okay, don't. If you feel that you need to do that for yourself, I think that's okay. But I think it's harmful to the parents a lot of the time. If the parents are those old-fashioned, straight-laced, not my kid kind of thing.
Hello. Over here.
Hi.
I found that the best time for me to come out to my mother was during long car rides where she wouldn't have the guts to kick me out of it. And I came out to her as bisexual, and she said, you can't be because you don't have a string of lovers. And so I was like, well, that's fine, I don't have to say anything more on it now that she's had that reaction. So kind of I think I was sort of lucky. But I would say probably the best time to come out, if you're going to, is like one at a time, or wait for them to come to you, so that way you have the upper ground.
Yes.
And that's really all I wanted to say.
Yes. Anybody else?
Lot. Well, my story is not the most exciting, but a little background information on my parents. I do not like them a lot. We had a sort of difficult relationship because we are from the German Democratic Republic age, and they had
Can you speak a
pretty...
little more slowly?
No, I cannot. I would. Anyway, they were brought up believing that they should not ever argue with their parents or never change their opinion. I myself am a person that believes in that everyone has their own opinion and the right to express it at any time. So we have fights many times. But when it comes to the topic of being a furry and myself being bisexual, they were like, yeah, that's okay, kid, do whatever you want, be wherever you be. Want be. So
That's good.
it's either been for most of people in this room, I believe. I don't know how difficult it was for you to talk to your parents or close friends and explain them what a furry is. It can be really difficult. Can be really difficult, especially when you run into the wrong side of a fandom and have to explain to somebody about that. Just like yesterday when I was at the penny, you know, how to fulfill it into the fun. There was a lot of bad things there, but it was a lot of fun as well.
Over here. Two over here. You want to come up and sit with me?
Oh, yeah. I could literally do that. Well, I also had a question about, well, I know some Muslim furries who are also gay. Like, well, you know how most Muslim parents are narrow-minded.
Yes.
So I'm asking about, like, I'm just curious what the gay Muslim furries
I
should
wonder
do.
whether it would be possible to find some more gay Muslim furries.
Well, I actually know one. I'm by myself, but
You probably aren't.
I am.
There are probably plenty of them out there who just don't know it yet. They may know they're gay, but they don't know they're furry. It seems like most people know they're gay before they know they're furry. I don't know anybody who was a fur and said, "Oh, gay, hey, I'm gay too." Right? You knew when you were gay. You were young. You didn't just discover this when you were 18, 19. If you didn't, you're pretty dumb. I'm different from this guy and this guy and this guy. And I don't know why, but there's a difference. But you realize what it is before long. You just really don't have much of a brain.
Well, I mean, like, the thing about the Muslim parents is like they're very, very,
I
very strict.
understand. I
when it
know that
comes-
Muslim parents are really tough on their girls, too.
Yes. No, well,
On
mine
their
were-
wives. I know Muslim women who wouldn't dare go out of the house uncovered. But man, when they get all together, those robes come off and they got on their Dior gowns and their makeup and they're dressed to the nines. I don't understand the psychology of a woman who's willing to let her husband say, "You can't let anybody see you." If he objects to her looking attractive when she's out, don't buy her expensive clothes. Don't let her have makeup. Try to stop a woman from having. This is something that's totally beyond my experience. I've only known a few Muslims in my life who lived in an area. I think the first Muslim I ever met was the man I bought my house from down in North Carolina. And he's become a friend. His wife is a dear friend. They live in Egypt. We correspond all the time. If we were neighbors, we'd be best friends. You know people you hit it off with. We don't talk about religion. She doesn't have to go covered outside of the country. But in the country, she has to be covered. And I don't understand it.
You should literally just ask him what would he do if he would found out that his son is gay. Well, the furry thing is just, well, it happens.
Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty interesting discussion material if you ask me.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
I'll do that.
I feel like this. It will be
If I
pretty-
can, I'll put it on Twitter.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Muslim gay kids. Or gay Muslim kids.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, find out. I hate this business of sending your kid to a shrink. Put them on Ritalin. My parents' theory with raising us was let them grow up. Just let them grow up, and we did. Sometimes we were not real neat. Sometimes we did bad things. I smoked cigarettes. My dad caught me. I was in the bedroom smoking, 16. And he came upstairs and he said, "You've been smoking?" "No, Daddy." And he had these huge big brown eyes and they just got wet. And he turned around and walked downstairs. And I went down and there's tears running down his face. This was the worst thing that I could have done to him. And he said, "I don't care what you do, just don't ever lie to me." That was for him. A child telling a lie I could have said I'm gay, I'm bi, I'm tri, I don't care. It wouldn't have bothered him if I told the truth. I think that's something that modern day parents miss out on, is insisting that their children be truthful. Too many times you see parents who do things to pull the wool over somebody else, financial things, and their kids see it. What kind of message does that send to the kid? If my mom can do that, daddy cheats on his taxes. I think the best thing for me is honesty. This we try to instill in our children. Whatever you do, be truthful about it. If you do something bad and you get caught, take your punishment. That's all. And as for them being gay, that's their business, not mine. And the neighbors don't count. Anybody else?
Yeah,
You've been so patient, way back here.
I'm used to it.
And
Mine, I had a rather strange coming out to my mother because she was helping me by just coming up to me and said, hey, I noticed you have some friends and you're coming over. It's kind of you do stuff, and that was all. I say yes, and that was all of it. So she probably helped me coming out, but after that we never really talked about, but I never got the feeling it's necessary.
right.
Because it's something we have to talk about. Nowadays I see so many people are like pushing their sexuality up everybody because they feel they need
Yes.
to, and it's kind of strange for me because I have a feeling that it's still something a little bit private, and we don't need
Yes.
to like wear a badge, but hi, I'm gay, what are you? And that's the same relationship with my mother. I know that she knows it, and that's it. And it's a very relaxed state, I believe.
That's good. I think that people don't make the same kind of decisions on what to talk about for their straight kids. When your daughter tells you, so-and-so asked me to marry him, you don't say, are you having sex? You don't say, what are you going to do after you get married? None of my business. It's the same when a guy gets married. Nobody says anything. Maybe some of their friends are going to make some, but kids are kids, no matter if they're 13 or 30. If guys are going to make some snide comment about whether you're gay or whether you're not gay, about who your partner is. Not my problem. It's the problem of the person who makes a comment.
I feel people should relax a little bit more
Yeah.
with the subject.
Yeah. I think there's too much media
Yeah.
about it. Way too much media about it. Let things evolve naturally.
Media is not helping.
What? Yeah.
Media is not helping.
Media is making it much worse.
Yeah.
Much worse. We're having a huge thing in North Carolina right now about the bathrooms. Okay, I can understand that there's a possibility that in a unisex bathroom, a pervert is going to go in there dressed as a woman and grab a little girl and do bad things. That can happen in a regular ladies' bathroom. This is the argument that is being given against having unisex bathrooms. Because somebody bad could come in and get a kid. It does happen. It's been happening. It doesn't mean it's a gay person who's going in and getting a kid. It's not a tranny who's going in. It's some creep. So, big deal. But all you see in the papers is brother-in-law of governor says we should have unisex bathrooms. Is he gay? None of your business. So, media, let's kill all the newspapers. Against the wall. Anybody else?
Okay. Wait. I have a kind of
interesting thing going on. Actually, half a year ago, I told my parents, okay, I'm a furry. I don't live in the household anymore since for 2 years. So they live in Austria, I live in Germany. So they're fine with that. I mean, I told that, showed them, that's fine over Skype and so. Okay, so, after 2 years, we're coming to Berlin, we're visiting you. Okay, fine, yeah, we can Skype, whatever. And then I also told them, okay, do you want to know my boyfriend maybe when you're here? Oh, yeah, sure, why not? To my mother only. Because I expect my father also would be there, but also she was fine with it. So, yes, I know I'm also into boys and girls, so bisexual. They don't know it yet, but, well, if you want to meet him, yes, sure, why not? So after the meeting also it felt fine for them. Afterwards, my sister actually have written me, hey, I'm also bisexual, cool, oh, great. I've also told them 1 week ago, before they came into, to meet in Berlin. So, after the Berlin visit, my sister and my father had a discussion. And my sister actually told them, didn't told them actually, her boyfriend is together with him 2 years, is actually transgender. Nobody knows that. And actually, he and my father had a real rough discussion about bisexual and also that I have a boyfriend right now. And something like, oh, that's not my gene. Should I be proud of him now about that? I don't know what to think about it because I'm just actually not getting those things because I'm not in the household anymore. And I don't know if I should, or how I could help also my sister.
That's a tough one. How do you help her? It's nobody's business. If your dad needs to know what they're doing in the bedroom, he can say, well, here's what we do in the bedroom. Okay, then here's what we do. But you know that's not going to happen. It's none of anybody's business.
Yeah, it's actually also my opinion also on that. So also my mother said, okay, that's fine, do whatever you want. So that's also my. But after I've heard things, okay, they're discussing it, and it's not going to be okay. My father's maybe not that old because it comes from the land side. My mother actually comes from the city side, and it's also the grandparents of my father's side. I think they won't accept anything of that.
They don't need to know anything because they're going to die. Let them die happy.
Okay.
You know, why upset them? Because they're so set in their ways because of their lifetime experiences, what people have told them, anything that they have learned along the way, nothing's going to change them. They don't need to know. That's all. And if you don't have children, you don't have children. Grandparents would like to have at least one great-grandchild. Oh, it's not happening. Okay?
Yeah, I know we have 4 kids, so we have 2 more opportunities.
No problem. You just don't need to know. I have this thing on my phone. If I say the word that is spelled O and K, it says, hello, Wilma. Say help me for a list of commands. I don't know how to get rid of it. Over here. Anybody else? Down here? Speak slower.
Okay, I'm trying to hook on the thematic. I personally prefer no name calling. I don't think it's that good to say to the parent, hey, I'm a furry. It may lead to, if your parents have a computer, type in furry.
You can say, I'm furry. You can say, I really like animals.
Yes.
I like feeling the fur. I like hugging furries. No, I like things that have fur. I like hugging things that have fur. Furries are going to become a whole lot more accepted, a whole lot more quickly than gay people are, because furry has become such a big thing, and all these people who thought we're a bunch of weirdos, all of a sudden realize they love animals too, and they're furry, whether they ever knew it or not, and they're more accepting, so you don't have to say I'm furry.
Mhm.
I like going to conventions where there are a whole bunch of people who dress in furs and hug each other. Okay?
I personally, once I was younger, I showed my parents videos. Hey, look, I found on YouTube a video where a lot of people dress as animals.
Yeah.
What do you think? They say, oh, that's cute. And that's also a way.
Yeah, bring them to a convention. Let's get them to a convention.
Yeah.
And I don't think there are very many who would not change their mind about how fantastic it is to be in this community.
Yeah, waking the interest is important. Saying, look, I found this and that on the internet. Do you want to see that? Show them some pictures. It looks cute, having a fursuit. Then I went to EF. I said, yes, I'm going to Germany on a big convention, going chill out with my friends and meet new people. And yeah, with my sister I have more, I have also a good relationship, and I wanted to send her a photo with me and the fursuiter. But my sister and my mother has the same name, so I sent it to my mother. And then she said, oh, that's a cute plushie. Do you want to buy one too?
See, parents could be closet furs. There are a lot of furs out there that don't know they're furs yet. Probably
think I
more
have to-
people that don't know they're gay yet.
I think I have to get them to a convention.
Yeah. Yeah, there are conventions all over. In America, there's one every single weekend someplace, even if it's only 15 or 20 people. Something like that would be a good, if there is any small furry group in your town that gets together occasionally. Get your parents to come. Just let them meet them. Make sure there aren't some weirdos though in that group, because every once in a while you're going to find one. Maybe.
Thank you.
Okay. Over here.
Actually, I now remember a story 2 years ago on my birthday. I also had invited some fursuiters. What I didn't realize was that one of the fursuiters did actually sleep in his suit with a giant bone of, I guess it was 2 meters long and like 50 centimeters thick. He was sleeping on it actually. My parents came in the next morning bringing us the breakfast, and they saw him like, what the hell is that? Later they said there was a guy in a costume just sleeping over there. Is that normal for you? Said, well, for some people it is.
I think the worst, we've always had fursuits drop in at our house, and our neighbors got used to it. We never had to discuss anything with them. They just knew those weird Conways had these huge big animals coming. The little kids loved it. They just, oh, when are you getting more company, you know? That's neat. And then they take off their costumes and they walk around outside, nobody pays any attention to them. But when they're in their fursuits, everybody's looking and taking pictures. If they're taking pictures, I assume they're not selling them to the black media, or whatever you call the media that makes fun of everybody.
Fox News.
Yeah.
We call them Bill.
Yeah. I've never, ever had any experience with any neighbors or friends saying anything derogatory about any furs. They just think we're weird. Okay. Weird's good. Why not? If there are enough of us, we're not the weirds they are.
we're growing.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share any of their experiences? More?
Yes. I have a question. I'm sorry when I missed something. I remember it right that you have a child that is a furry.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, because this is the
Yes,
name of the
I
panel.
have an extremely furry
Yeah.
child. He has been a furry child for about 25 years, 22 years. Of course, he's a little, not quite a child anymore, but he still dresses up. Oops, am I allowed to say he still? Oh, no. He would still dress up in fursuit if he had one available. Who would know who he was? He could run up to me and hug me, and I'd hug him back and not know who it was. And I know how he walks. If he did put on a costume, which he probably doesn't, I would recognize him. And he
Tony
doesn't.
Ringtail?
He doesn't know it, so
Ringtail.
please do not. Everybody, please don't tell him I know who he is. Put that out. You're not, somebody's going to show him, huh? Yeah, no, he does not costume. I didn't hear you.
Does he have a
Yes.
persona?
He's a clown. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's a clown. His animal persona, I would say that he just likes all animals. He likes wolves, he loves foxes. He loves foxes. I don't know whether his persona is a fox, but he likes foxes, he likes wolves, he likes hawks, which is sort of furry. He loves hawks. I don't know any furry hawks. I saw one time. But persona, I've never asked. Maybe I'll say, hey, what's your animal persona? None of your business. He knows what mine is. We've talked about that. And that's okay. I don't mind if he knows. I'm not going to fursuit because it's way too hot. You know, I tried that bulldog head on one time and started having a panic attack because I was suffocating. That was the end of my fursuiting. So my husband put it on too. He lasted about 2 minutes. I lasted about 3.5. I don't know how you do it. I have no idea how you can walk around with this thing covering your face and your air not coming in right. I guess you get enough air, but I felt like I was rebreathing all my old oxygen and it was coming back in carbon dioxide, and that was panic. So if I ever did fursuit, it would have to be from the neck down. Or make a mask. I could do a mask. I've seen people with cutout ones on the face. Just the face is showing they look like pajamas.
Oh.
The ear, you know.
That's actually one guy.
Is that only one guy? I see him a
There's one guy,
lot.
he is with suits.
You sure it's only one person?
He's got a massive group, but it's one person here.
There are more than just one guy. I saw, I guess, like 5 different guys.
I thought I saw different colored suits.
You probably mean the kigurumi, it's like a pajama.
Yes, yeah. I used to have a pair of pajamas called Dr. Dennis. They had feet. And that did, but no head, just feet. They had, I think it had a hood. It had a hood, but I cut it off because it was.
You can try one.
Maybe. I was given a pair of cheetah pajamas, and they're like 3 sizes too big. And they rolled the bottoms up and rolled the sleeves up, and they took pictures of me, and they keep threatening they're going to stick them on YouTube. Prefer the pajamas. If they're comfortable, they're nice and warm. And I'll keep them. Maybe someday I'll have them tailored to fit me and come in a cheetah suit. But no head. I don't mind not being anonymous, except where one person is concerned. Prefer not to have him know all about me. None of his business.
Yeah, that is
Anybody
cool.
else?
Yeah, I was not.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did I hear it right that you created your persona before your child came up with this idea of furry?
I've always known that I had an affinity for wolves.
Yeah.
Dogs and wolves, wolf dogs. Way before I was even married, I always had a special feeling. We'd go to the zoo and I'd hang around the wolf cage. It was like almost something romantic about the wolves. I love the pack thing with the wolves. Did he evolve into a furry because of me? Possibly. I'd like to think that it was helpful. I'm proud that he's furry. I think it's really neat. And,
so it was all the time inside you, but with your child it came out. So
maybe
it was
he got that
a way to
from
show
inside.
it now.
Yeah, yeah. But as far as his persona, does anybody know what his persona is?
Yes,
Are you
gentlemen,
allowed
yeah.
to tell me?
Yes. Kage's persona is a cockroach.
Not really. That's his name. He doesn't feel like a cockroach. The reason he's a cockroach, you all know that story. When he was in grad school and he was playing one of the games where he had to have an animal name, and he was living in a flea-bitten hotel or motel someplace, apartment. And the other kids were like dial-up connection, 15 minutes before you get an answer when you ask a question. And they said, what would you like to have? Wolf's taken, fox is taken, cheetah's taken, all the birds are gone, and this thing crawled across his computer. And he said, Kagamushi, because he had read the Kagamushi comic books. They were out even then, the Japanese comic books. So he became Kagamushi. That's it. But it's not his persona. I don't know what his animal persona is. He did, for a long time, go to Wolf Park in Indianapolis. He was a huge supporter of Wolf Park. We adopted a wolf, which was pretty neat. We sent money for the wolf's upkeep. That sort of just petered out. I don't know whether, probably the wolf died. I don't know if Wolf Park is still there, or if they don't invite him anymore. It got to be a real big place. They had buffalo with the wolves. Creep up with a baby buffalo. Cool. Tear it apart, eat it alive, you know. I thought that he had an affinity for wolves at that time, but then he flits from one thing to another. He just goes from one thing to another. It's like when you're here, you're talking to him, and all of a sudden he teleports someplace else. I wouldn't say that he has a short attention span. He has a whole lot of interests. That's the main thing, a lot of interests. And I'm going to ask him, what's your persona? And if he says none of your business, that's okay. I'll give you 5. Anybody else? Are you done? I do have one more question.
That's an interesting story. I hear the quote a few days ago, parents know, but children knows more. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the question is, how did you improve yourself with your children? Are you a new human? What would you have been without children? Are you a completely new human? You see new ways.
When I had small children, there were times when I would think, oh, what would my life be like without all these kids running around? Without the diapers and the runny nose and the cleaning up the spit up. Would I be really, really happy? But then there were so many more things that are rewarding, you forget about the times when the kids are, give me a break, I want to get out of here. Every once in a while, my husband would say, why don't you just go someplace? When I'm like, these kids, the hair is gone fuzzy, you know. He'd say, go for a ride. And that was okay, because he was like, sent me to a safe place where I'm not going to kill the kid. It's not a good idea to kill the kid. You give it to jail and the other kids are orphans and stuff like that. So, yeah, there were times when I wished that I didn't have kids, that I could have a different kind of life. I think every woman does. Gee, what if I had done things differently? Or what if I was 21 and knew what I know now? You've heard all adults say that. Boy, if I were your age and knew what I know now, probably would do the same dumb things over and over again. Because we're human. We are human. We may not all want to be, but we are. We have human thoughts and human
Yeah, I
feelings.
completely can understand this.
Yeah, we are human. Sort of. So. Fox, I hope you're not sending messages to Sam.
I'm tweeting that picture of you in the cheetah cube.
All right. How did you get that picture? Oh, you were there?
I know your son.
All right, you know if he's out there listening?
Not yet. He walked past by 2 minutes ago.
Did he go that way?
Yeah.
Then he may be back there listening, so I can't tell you what I'm going to do with him.
I'm talking about Kage.
Yeah, is he back there?
I saw him in the bar.
Okay, good. This is a huge, big secret. If anybody blows it, I'm going to be really mad. The next time Fox or two or somebody else that I know real well is down for a wine stream, I'm going to either get and go myself or give them pictures of Sam starting a baby, first grade, sixth grade. On the couch and just go like this. Would that freak him out? Would he be able to see on the screen that they were going up like that?
Probably, yeah.
When he's doing the wine stream, can he see himself?
Yes, he would. He would, yeah. Yeah, because he can see what's on the screen as well.